Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 20th anniversary of DocPoint, the only festival in Finland that is solely dedicated to documentaries. My name is Rose Heckens, and I'm here with director Firouzeh Khosrovani to moderate a Q&A about her film Radiograph of a Family. This film is also nominated for the DocPoint-elokuvatapahtumat Award for Best International Documentary. Welcome and congratulations on the nomination, Firouzeh. How are you doing and where are you in the world?
Thank you. I'm very happy. It's my pleasure that my film will take part of your festival. I'm living in Iran, and this is a pity that I wish I could participate in person in Helsinki.
Well, happy that you are here virtually with us anyway. Let's start talking about your film. I wanted to start with a more general question about your work, because again, in this film, we see a dichotomy between secularity and religion, which has also been visual in your previous work, like Rough Cut and Best of Duty. And I wanted to ask, what is it that inspires you about this dichotomy in Iran society?
It's my life. It's my way of living and experiencing at home in our society. So this film is my imagination, my observations, my memory, my lived experience. So it's the atmosphere that I breathe every day. So, but in this film, I wanted to use it metaphorically more than this is reality, of course. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to emphasize or find some dramatic arcs in the film. So I used my parents as two characters, which are representative of two ideologies, two lifestyles. So this is dichotomy beneath a roof under our domestic roof.
Yes. And like you say, it's more like a metaphor, and there's many metaphorical signatures in this film, which is really beautiful, I think. Maybe we can talk a bit about this kind of selecting process for this storytelling. The film is made up of archive material and the voiceover by you. Then there's some more staged dialogue between the parents, and it all seemed to be very carefully sewed together. But I'm very curious, where do you start a project like this? Was it the archive material? Was it like where was the first seed where it grew from?
The main source of this film was family albums, was our pictures. And the archive materials are the extension of the same atmospheres in the pictures, or some subjects that I was looking for to find some unofficial archives, like home videos, or sometimes official ones from Switzerland or Iran. So it's a combination of archive materials, shooting scenes, pictures, and stage dialogues. It was a very long and difficult process, because I had huge materials. I have collected enormous visual materials and ideas. So I had to remove some of them or eliminate some of them. So it was a process of cutting off the things and to make this collage. And it was difficult to find a balance between different materials that have different textures, different moods. So it was a challenging process.
Yeah, I bet. Can you tell a bit about the writing of the dialogue between your father and mother, the ones that are in the film? How did you construct this dialogue from the memories that you had and the inspiration that you had for the film?
Yeah. First of all, I was trying to do everything on narrator voice, so it was written and narration. Then it was difficult because I was born in the middle of the film, so I would lose a part of the film and I didn't want to have a kind of narration that said, I remember that, I remember this. So I wanted to construct another style of storytelling. So I thought that I can write some dialogues between them based on my memories and based on my imagination. So I have written, it was a little bit tricky, and it was a very nice process. Sometimes I check with my mother, sometimes I was based on my imagination. So it was the reality that I was making for this film. This is maybe another reality. And I wanted to feel free to use my fantasies. So I thought that this imagination maybe is more real than reality. This is a child perspective. So I wanted to maintain this this gaze, this perspective, and so from the beginning, I knew that I didn't want to interview anyone. This is something that I knew that I don't want to make a classic documentary, because everyone think that my mother is alive, that I can talk with her, and it would be nice to have this. This is the magnificent reality, because it's. But I wanted to craft everything and be the master of this work.
Yeah. Can you also tell a bit something about the work that you had to do with the actors that said the lines that you created? Was there anything particular that you wanted from them?
Yeah. It was a strange casting for the voices, because I wanted to have a good feeling with that voices that could represent my parents. And for my father's voiceover, it was difficult to find a very fit voice. I wanted also a person who can sing, who can whistle, who knows music, who knows French. So I had a very limited options.
Yeah.
And finally, I think the best voice ever could represent my father's voice is. He's a composer. Christophe Rezai is a well-known composer internationally. And he accepted. It was very nice of him. I was honored that he wanted to participate in the film.
Excellent.
With his voice.
You mentioned the music and the importance it was to your father, but I think throughout the whole film, the music is one of the threads that you're sewing with this story together. How was the selecting process for that? Did you have certain music in mind already, or did also new ideas come when you were working with the material?
Both, but I already knew, based on my childhood memories, I wanted to have a certain piece of Bach or Mozart, or there is a very nice Chopin, and Beethoven. So I knew some of them already, but with the composer, we have thought to put something also different, but everything in the music is something related to my father's favorite pieces, classical.
That's beautiful. Then I was thinking about the ending. You just mentioned that some people have commented that your mother is still alive. Why didn't you speak to her now? But I think the ending was quite wonderful when you kind of do get to see this reality for a moment. Was the ending always already part of the idea? Was it from the start that you knew you wanted to end the film like this?
Yeah. I have to say, I knew from the beginning the ending of the film, but it was difficult to find the beginning of the film because I tried to begin the story from many other points. First of all, I didn't want it to begin with the marriage, with the wedding ceremony. I thought that it's very classical. I don't want to be so linear. But I tried many other different moments, and it doesn't work. So finally, I found another solution to use the house, the shooting scene of the empty house. So it is beginning with something mysterious, that where is it, and with the sentence that my mother married my father's photograph. So that was good for me. Okay, in this way, I accept to begin with the wedding. But for the closing scene, I knew that I wanted to have the reality, real time, real persons, real place. And so we put our, we jump in the reality. And I thought that since at the end of the film, we lose the time, we don't even consider or notice when is in the chronological order. And I knew that I will put my father's picture when he's old, and then my mother at the present time.
Yeah.
And first I thought that I will be with her in the scene, and then I thought it's better that we feel that I'm there, so I was filming her.
Yeah, I think it worked really beautifully. Now that you mentioned the sort of static motion camera shot that you created, I was wondering about that. Why did you make it? But you just explained that. But can you maybe elaborate a bit on it? How you then started to work with this kind of more creative and fantasy like space that you had?
Yeah, because everything in storytelling was there, because the with the archives and pictures, I could convey the whole story, but it was not what I wanted to to do. I needed some fantasy. So I began to plan this imaginative room, and and the changing of the interiors, also with ideology, with the revolution, after revolution. So I wanted to scan a home, like a radiology machine goes and scanning the house. Each time something is changing, something is different, and it's 5 times we see the camera from the father's land toward mother's, and after revolution it's the opposite side. So the idea of scanning the X-ray of home, the X-ray of body, and the X-ray of the history.
Wow, that's very impressive to hear that it's so calculated. What side of the room we're seeing? That's something I think that you maybe feel that it's very very well thought of, but that you don't know maybe, or don't always have the time to realize as a viewer how calculated it is. Wow. Maybe a good last question would be that has your mother seen the film?
Yeah.
And maybe in general, has it been screened in Iran, and how did she, and was the reception there?
Yeah. My mother loved the film. She really recognized herself in it. It was a very nice moment that after the film, she told me, "You did a great job." And it was very important for me that she recognized herself in every word that I put in her mouth. So, and I'm happy that I succeed to be fair, honest, and to give reason to both of them, and to not judge.
And has the film screened in Iran?
Not yet, because of the coronavirus also. But we are trying to find after the post-corona, but we will show it in Iran, hopefully.
Right. Yes, well, it's great that your film has been shown here, and at least the film can travel the world at the moment, corona-free. Thanks so much for making time for us and to have this interesting conversation. And to show our gratitude, I have a present for you. Normally we could maybe give flowers, but we don't like to do that. And this is a certificate for a little piece of ancient forest. So we are very aware that as a festival you create, of course, a carbon footprint, and to reduce that, we bought a little piece of forest in your name. So this will now be protected. And we will send this to you, of course. So yeah, thanks once again for you and the audiences also visiting the festival.
Thank you, and thank the whole team of the festival, and obviously the audience.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.